From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
A News Hour tonight. London court remands Ike Ekweremadu and wife on alleged organ harvest. Bandits again strike in Katsina metropolis, abduct residents as police rescue 14 victims in Zamfara. APC inaugurate National Campaign Council with a charge to win Osun governorship election. Away from Nigeria, European Parliament approves EU candidacy status for Ukraine and Moldova. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now looking at the details. Two Nigerians, Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice, have been denied bail by a United Kingdom's magistrate court. The two were arrested by the Metropolitan Police in London for allegedly conspiring to arrange the travel of a child into the UK to harvest body parts. The charges follow an investigation by the Metropolitan Police's Special Crime Team. Victim in the alleged crime is a 15-year-old boy brought to the UK by the couple from Lagos. A statement on the Metropolitan Police website this Thursday reads, quote, Beatrice Nwaneka Ekweremadu, 55, of Nigeria, is charged with conspiracy to arrange, facilitate travel of another person with a view to exploitation, namely organ harvesting. Ike Ekweremadu, 60, of Nigeria, is charged with conspiracy to arrange, facilitate travel of another person with a view to exploitation, namely organ harvesting. The couple have been remanded until July 7th. Now, joining us to talk about this is editor of Daily Nigerian, Jafar. He joins us to give perspectives on this. Thank you so much, Jafar, on joining us on the News Hour.
Thank you, Aiba.
All right. Now, what do you make of this, revelation? I mean, all of a sudden, Nigerians are receiving this news. We are talking about, at one point in time, the deputy president of the Senate of Nigeria.
Yeah. Well, really, it is one thing to be a lawmaker, and it is another thing to, be a good ambassador of your country elsewhere, because they have different laws. In Nigeria, we used to flout our laws. We flout things with impunity without recourse to due process and what have you. But here in the UK, I think what Ekweremadu, probably what he did, he might be ignorant of the law to commit, but the law ignorance does not make you innocent. What happened today, he was arraigned today at the court for allegedly trying to traffic a minor. And according to reports, the minor probably,
a lot of Nigerians are, finding it hard to come to terms with this. Like it's some kind of a case of mistaken identity or something like that. So it sounds so unbelievable.
No, it was actually Ike Ekweremadu, really, the former Nigerian Deputy Senate President, a seasoned lawmaker, but look at how the law caught up with. According to some reports, the doctors already the child was in the UK. So the doctors, before the surgery, they questioned him thoroughly, and upon questioning, they were able to detect that he was only a minor. He was not up to the age that Ekweremadu was claiming. That was 21 years of age. The child was actually 15 years of age. So it revolves around issues of consent. A minor, you can't just take up a minor and say that a minor can consent to such kind of things. So since he's a minor, issues of consent arises. In the UK, it is not that it is illegal to transplant or any other organ that is transplantable. But there has to be a consent, and you can't get a consent from a minor unless from an adult. That is the bone of contention here.
So at this point,
the boy is not an adult.
So at this point, is there any information about the parents of this child?
Still, there is no. It's sketchy. The details are still sketchy. Some are saying that the child was taken from a Lagos street without the consent of the parents. Some were saying that the parents were bribed to allow their child to be harvested. Narratives, it is still sketchy. The issue happened today, so it is not likely. Maybe in the next couple of days, everything will just be clear to journalists, and because a lot of people will start digging, because the name of the child is already, so it will be tracked actually in the next couple of days, and more details will be as to who is the boy, or who are the parents of the boy.
All right. Now, what are the possible sanctions, for this if eventually after the court hearings, the former deputy Senate president is found guilty? What are the possible, sanctions? What are the possible terms?
Yeah, really. I actually am not a lawyer, but definitely there are sanction. I don't know. I can see even apart from the issues of trafficking attracts very stringent penalty everywhere in the world. And then apart from that, forcing a minor to do something out of his consent is another charge also. And then there is issue of finding him with X money. I think $20,000. I think he did not declare the money. It is another charge which I think they will lump them all together and then charge them to court. So I think Ekoyomadu truly will not. He will hardly come out clean from this mess. It's really terrible for him, and very sad situation that they don't take things with levity here. They question everything. A very simple thing, it will be just overblown to high heavens. So we have to be very careful, Nigerians, the UK or any other advanced country. There are some issues that too. We have to be very realistic. You don't have to lie.
Okay.
It's only in Nigeria that they condone that.
All right. Thank you so much, Jaffer, for joining us on the news and sharing your perspectives.
Okay. Thank you, Ayuba, for hosting me. Okay.
Yeah. Jaffer is the London-based editor of Daily Nigerian. Now, moving on. Terrorists numbering about 15 struck and abducted 11 people on Thursday at Sokoto Rima Housing Estate, Shagari Locust, and behind Katsina State Television KTTV area in Katsina Metropolis. The terrorists arrived the area at 2 a.m. in the morning and broke into houses abducting residents. Abdullahi Amadi tells us more.
One of the abductees is 18-year-old Walida Abdulaziz Maigoro, wife of Alhaji Abdullahi Aisha of Sokotorima Housing Estate. However, all the kidnapped victims have been rescued and hurt by the anti-kidnapping unit of Katsina State Police Command. One of those who escaped narrowly, Muhammad Megadi, told Trust Television that they trekked with the terrorists for over 39 kilometers inside bush before they were intercepted and rescued. The terrorists came around 2 a.m. There were many armed with dangerous weapons, diggers, hammers, and other things. I narrowly escaped after trekking for over 39 kilometers. The anti-kidnapping unit of the police in Katsina worked hard to rescue the rest. Other residents who narrowly escaped being kidnapped expressed concern over the deteriorating insecurity in Katsina Metropolis. I saw the terrorists with my naked eyes. I heard when they were trying to open the gate of my neighbor, whose wife they abducted. Only recently, another 8 residents of Shola quarters in Katsina Metropolis were attacked and abducted by the terrorists. Though some of the victims returned after paying ransoms, these 2 victims luckily escaped from the terrorist camp without paying a dime. The terrorists were busy celebrating at the camp in the forest. When God intervened, I saw myself and my brother running out of the forest. This is God's intervention. We were rescued by the special grace of God. No more, no less. I thank God and I thank people for their prayers. Residents of the ancient city of Katsina are living in fear and uncertainty as this is the second attack on Katsina city. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Now, the 29 abducted wedding guests who were still in captivity have regained their freedom. The secretary of the Global Systems Mobile GSM Dealers Union in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, Ashiru Zurmi, confirms the release of the 29 kidnapped victims to Trust TV via telephone. He said the victims who were released on Thursday evening headed to Gusau, the state capital. Police in Zamfara state have rescued 14 kidnapped victims, including 2 babies, along Kunching-Algo forest in Safi local government area of the state. The State Command Public Relations Officer, Superintendent Mohammed Shehu, said that police tactical operatives deployed along Kunching-Algo axis in collaboration with some individuals who have resolved to partner with security agencies in restoring peace to the state, acted on credible intelligence and stormed a suspected bandit's hideout. The State Commissioner of Police, Ayuba El-Kana, while handing over the victims to their relations, appreciated the government and people of the state for their continued support and collaboration. He assured police continued commitment to fighting social vices in the state. The recent report that victims of train attack still in captivity are being threatened by snakes and other rodents has raised concern among families of the hostages. The relatives of the victims at a press briefing in Kaduna on Thursday morning say that their relatives are living under horrific conditions that need urgent attention. The report.
It's about 3 months since terrorists attacked the Abuja-Kaduna train and abducted over 60 people. Within this period, more than 10 of them have regained their freedom and reunited with their families, raising hopes that the remaining hostages will soon be released. This hope appears dim following the recent report that the victims' lives are being threatened by snake bites in the forest. Matilda Kabir, whose husband is still in captivity, says life has become miserable.
7 days, 87 days. Some of us, the women, they don't work. They don't work. One woman, she's not working. She has a sickle cell child. Day before yesterday, she called me. She said, Matilda, I might end it. I said, I have to be begging her, hold on. It is not funny. Please, Nigerians, come to our aid. Add voice to our own. If it has not touched you, you will not understand how we are feeling. Please. Please.
From the people that came back, they told us the situation over there. They told us that there are snakes, termites, like scorpions, and all sorts of rodents there, which are very harmful and scary.
The chairman of the victims' relatives, Dr. Fatai Jimo, says their relatives in captivity are living in deteriorating health conditions and called on those concerned to redouble their efforts to see to their rescue.
That our family members still in captivity are living under horrendous conditions. Many of them are sick with poor medical care, in addition to poor nutrition, environmental hazards, and more frighteningly, living in perpetual fear of threats to life. However, we commend the efforts of the Chief of Defense Staff, service chiefs, heads of security agencies, the Presidential Committee, institutions, organizations, and individuals who collectively worked tirelessly for the success of this first phase of negotiation.
The relatives also commended the government for facilitating the release of the first batch of 11 persons and expressed hope that others will soon be rescued. Lami Sadiq for Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Ondo State Security Network Agency, codenamed Amotekun Corps, has confirmed that some suspects have been arrested in connection with the terrorist attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo. The state commander of the Amotekun, Adetunji Adeleye, on Thursday said that some suspects have been arrested in connection with the killing. He, however, did not give the actual figure of the suspects arrested, but expressed assurance that all the attackers of the worship center will be apprehended. The suspected terrorists invaded the church on June 5th, killing 40 people and injuring many other worshippers. The National Campaign Council of the All Progressives Congress APC for Osun State governorship election has been inaugurated on Thursday with a call on them not to spare the opposition PDP and its candidate until victory is achieved. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that APC National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu, while inaugurating the council at the party's secretariat in Abuja, also told the team to do what it takes to win election, as failure is not in the party's dictionary.
Abdullahi Adamu admits it was not easy securing victory at the just concluded Ekiti election, saying there is even more concern about winning the Osun governorship race due to prevailing political atmosphere in the state.
Osun will be more difficult for us because, one, Osun is bigger by population, bigger by number of states, and by number of local governments, sorry, and even landmass, yes, thank you for that. And every local government has a unique characteristic for the kind of problems that we face.
The national chairman of the APC charged the campaign council to remain resolute and focus on retaining the party's mandate at whatever cost, provided it is within the confines of the law.
The governorship, our opposing candidate for the election, we are told that it's a money bag. We are told that it's a money bag. It's not our business today how he made the money or how he's making the money, but he is organized as a money bag. So we must be prepared to face him, eyeball for eyeball. There is no sparing him for any reason whatsoever. No sparing his party, the PDP, for whatever reason. We are going there to win.
Co-chairman of the Osun APC Governorship Campaign Council and Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje gives commitment of the council to the party's victory, predicated on reconciliation within the party.
We have told us that we are fighting an opposition we won a bag, but we want to assure you we have strategy bags. So, Mr. Chairman, we are seeking for the cooperation of our all stakeholders, especially our governors, all our governors. We are seeking for their cooperation. Members of the National Working Committee will coordinate well with all stakeholders in conducting an election. So we want to assure you this election is a task that must be done.
Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has fixed Saturday, 16th July for the conduct of the governorship election in Osun State, believed to be a two-horse race between the ruling All Progressives Congress APC and the opposition People's Democratic Party PDP. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, is threatening to shut down operations following the alleged killing of a filling station attendant by a security operative in Minna, the Niger State capital. Addressing a press conference in Kaduna, the zonal chairman of the union, Dahiru Bala, said the union has directed members in all petroleum stations in Niger State to down tool and withdraw their services until justice is served on the matter. The union, while directing all tanker drivers to stop delivery of petroleum products to Niger State, also warned that the strike action will be extended to the entire northern region unless the government and security agencies respond to them immediately. The union said it has written protest letters to the Niger State government, military authorities and the Nigerian police force, requesting for proper investigation and to bring the culprit to justice.
We have also directed our members in all petrol stations in Niger State to down tools and withdraw their services in all filling stations until justice is seen and have been served in the matter. We have also directed all our tanker drivers not to deliver any petroleum product meant for Niger State until this issue is properly addressed by the state government and military authority in Niger State. If we do not get immediate response from the state government, the Nigerian Army and police and other security agencies, this industrial action will extend it to other states in the northern region. For injury to one is injury to all. Solidarity forever.
In a similar vein, commercial transporters in Kwara State have again held a peaceful Save Our Soul protest over the deplorable conditions of Moro and Ohan bridges along Kwara-Oyo Benin Republic border. They made the appeal to the federal government to expedite action on the completion of the new bridges, which have been under construction for more than 5 years. The report.
Both the Moro and Ohan bridges, otherwise known as Bailey bridges, along the Kwara-Oyo Benin Republic border were constructed during the colonial era. The old bridges are now weak and damaged. Motorists are now forced to find an alternative route. Although this alternative route is not convenient, motorists have no choice but to ply it. The federal government awarded the construction of the new Moro Bridge in 2017, which was meant to be completed in 2018. However, the contractor requested for a review of the contract, but little or no progress had been made.
We, members of the Transport Union and the people of the Kwara State, are very displeased with the fact that the contractor has since abandoned the bridge project. This imposes a lot of the hardship on the people and especially the transport workers and farmers who are the majority here. This is a major bridge which connects Kwara and Oyo states.
The Transport Workers Union have this passionate appeal to the federal government.
This construction works has been abandoned since 2018. This caused so much hardship for us, and we beg the Honorable Minister to save our soul and help our business not to collapse. We make this passion appeal to the Federal Ministry of Works, especially the Honorable Minister Babatunde Raji Fashola, to also pay attention to the Oyon Bridge as he does to other elsewhere in the country.
On our own side, we are going to make our own presentation to the relevant agency, and I can assure you that something urgent will be done, because we've seen the alternative routes. The alternative route also is not motorable. So, and this is the road that links the Kwara State with Oyo State, and most of the food items pass through this major road. So, and I can assure you that something will be done, very urgent.
They are hopeful that their cry will reach the appropriate authorities, but for now, people of the area will have to continue looking for alternative routes, especially now with the rainy season setting in.
Kwara State government on Thursday confirmed the first case of monkeypox in the state. To this end, the state's Commissioner for Health, Dr. Raji Rasaki, in a statement has implored residents to step up efforts at personal and community hygiene in an effort to fight the disease. According to Rasaki, the patient is a 29-year-old driver from Bubu in the Edu local government area of the state. The statement says that the patient developed symptoms of fever, generalized rash and weakness in the last 2 weeks after he was kept under surveillance. It maintained that the victim's wife and 4 other neighbors with similar symptoms who had contact with him have been isolated by the health team. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, cultural heritage of ethnic group with origin from Egypt. Details and more after the break.
Times have passed, and with it so many things that once were our visual delights. Technological advancement has brought about tremendous changes in the way and manner media deliver content to its audience.
As it continues to reposition itself to serve you much better, Media Trust Limited is rebranding its logo and visual identity to reflect our current vision and futuristic drive.
We have spread our tentacles beyond the pages of the newspaper to the digital space. The new logos and visual identities reflect the new scope of our multimedia reach.
Even with this development, however, we will continue to remain with you as we have always remained, committed to our founding philosophy, which is based on trust, integrity, openness, and courage.
The new logo, which is a marriage of a revolving globe and a mobile device, signifies the unlimited reach of our content on the digital space.
We are always the backbone of operations as we do our best to deliver content that suits your needs.
When you see a new trust title or platform in the next few days, therefore, do not be alarmed.
We remain committed to you and will continue to serve you through fair and responsible journalism.
Welcome back. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. London courts remands Ike Ekweremadu and wife on alleged organ harvest. Bandits again strike in Katsina metropolis, abduct residents as police rescue 14 victims in Zamfara. In other news, the need for journalists to live up to their agenda-setting role is in the quest towards ensuring that the proposed Local Government Financial and Administrative Autonomy Bill is passed into law has been stressed. At a sensitization workshop for media practitioners in Kano State, experts say that the media has a significant role to play in influencing decision-makers towards meaningful development in the society. Trust TV's Idris Jibrin, who is among the participants, report that journalists in Kano appeared united in advocating for local councils' autonomy.
Organized by the Partnership Reform and Learn project, this sensitization program for media practitioners in Kano seeks to re-emphasize the role of media on the proposed Local Government Administrative and Financial Autonomy Bill in such a way that journalists will come up with news reports and programs geared toward ensuring the passage of the bill.
As stipulated by the Nigerian Constitution as amended as Section 22, the media is given the mandate to hold the government accountable to the people, being the watchdogs of the society. With this, we have a role to sensitize the people, neutrally anyway, on the significance of the local government autonomy, administrative and financial autonomy or otherwise.
According to these people, effective media campaign for the domestication of local government administrative and financial autonomy bill by the state assemblies in Nigeria will be a significant step.
Journalists can do that by doing their usual work, that is sensitizing the people about the importance and then reminding the legislature, especially here in Kano, that time is really running out. The federal legislature, including both houses, have already passed the bill into law, but then it needs the ratification of 2/3 of all the states, local governments in Nigeria. By now, 10 of them have already ratified this, and now we need 11 more states to ratify. So we need Kano State to be at the forefront of this ratification.
Meanwhile, journalists believe that their role in ensuring the passage of the bill will in the long run help to foster development, especially at the grassroots level of governance in Kano and the nation at large.
When the issue of adopting or passing the local government financial and administrative autonomy bill come into the forefront of our discussion, we realize that the media has an important role to play, because our people need to be informed about the major provisions of this bill. And if people are informed about these provisions, they will ask their representatives, they will ask their governors to pass this bill.
With pressure on the legislatures nationwide to pass the bill, effective monitoring of media campaigns and programming is expected to fast-track the process on or before the 2023 general elections. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
In a related development, state houses of assembly that are yet to pass the local government autonomy bills into law have been urged to do so, enhance good governance at the grassroots level. Stakeholders at a meeting charged state legislators to pass the bills to deepen democracy and ensure better service delivery. Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade files in this report as presented in our studio.
The National Assembly on 1st of March 2022 passed the bills granting financial and administrative autonomy to local government in Nigeria. They were among the 44 bills passed and transmitted to state houses of assembly. The bills require concurrence by 2/3 of the 36 states' houses of assembly to become law. Out of the 36 states, only Abia and Kogi states have voted in favor of the two bills. It is against this backdrop that citizens are appealing to state legislators to pass the bills for the good of the people at the grassroots. At a stakeholders meeting on Thursday, Deputy National Team Leader, Partnership to Engage, Reform and Learn, highlighting the status of the bill.
I think local government autonomy are among the efforts by the National Assembly to reform governance. And in the Constitution Review, there are two bills that are aimed at strengthening local government, one granting financial autonomy to the local government and the second one granting administrative autonomy. These bills are aimed at making the local government to be more effective, more functional, and enhancing their capacity to deliver services. The houses of assembly have commenced voting right now. 2 houses have voted. Abia voted in favor, and Kogi also just voted yesterday in favor of local government. But we still have 22 more houses to vote in favor of local. And you know, before any bill, any amendment can go through, we need 24 houses to vote in favor.
Team Lead, Partnership to Engage, Reform and Learn, and President of Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, Akim Ambali, said major issues bedeviling the nation will be addressed with effective local government system, which the autonomy will guarantee.
Once we have a functional local government, which we are expectant and we know is achievable, Nigeria will be better for us in terms of infrastructural development at the governance level, which is local government. We will have security guarantee at local government level. We will eradicate poverty at that level. And Nigerian youth will be provided gainful employment with the women, and there will be increase in GDP at local government level. Once we achieve that, Nigeria will become more united, and there will be a cohesion, and there will be political involvement of rural people in governance.
The National Team Leader of Partnership to Engage, Reform and Learn, Dr. Adia Ode charged state legislators to pass the bills to bring government close to the people.
Appeal to the state houses of assemblies. Please pass the two bills that are before you. There are a number of bills before the state houses. There are 44 in number. But on this particular local government autonomy bill issue, there are two bills, the local government administration bill and the local government financial autonomy bill. Please pass those bills so that local governments can begin to function.
The Benue State Governor, Samuel Otom, says there is no going back on the open grazing prohibition and Ranches Establishment Law 2017. At a media engagement, the governor said he has consulted people who have expressed commitment to keep herdsmen out of their lands, adding that despite the killings, people have given him a pat on the back for his doggedness. The governor, while maintaining that traditional rulers, the clergy, Christians and Muslims have all endorsed the law, challenged those peddling false narratives to come to Benue and face the people who are in alignment with his no retreat, no surrender stance on the law.
Will shake me. And any dreamer who thinks that he will come and repeal the prohibition of open grazing and prohibition for ranching law is just dreaming in the day. Why awake? Benue people are committed to this. I'm not alone. The traditional rulers, the clergy, both Christians and Muslims, and stakeholders have endorsed this.
The International Organization for Migration, United Nations, and the European Union, among others, have implemented a mitigation project to tackle the conflict between farmers and herders in Adamawa. The project was implemented at a meeting on contributing to the mitigation of conflict over natural resources between farmer and herder communities in Adamawa, Nigeria. The project is jointly implemented by IOM, Search for Common Grounds, and Mercy Corps in 5 local government areas of Adamawa, namely Demsa, Gire, Numan, Lamurde, and Mayobelwa.
Committers, and it seeks to address the farmer herder crisis by creating enabling environment for development. Earlier this year, through committers, we facilitated dialogues in Adamawa State, where over 300 community members, traditional leaders, religious leaders, and staff from various ministries, departments, and agencies were represented. It is for this reason the consortium is committed to supporting the plan in its efforts in conflict resolution and peace building, as well as humanitarian relief and early recovery. This will not only address internal displacement, but also empower communities for a better Nigeria.
We have a community-based security architecture established in all the targeted communities and LGAs, where community members and the security service providers sit across the table and try to collaborate to resolve some of the challenges faced by their communities.
It's important that all stakeholders work together to resolve the root causes of this crisis and to promote peace and prosperity in Nigeria. The EU is determined to support the Comitas project in promoting peace and security in Adamawa State and other parts of Nigeria. The EU wishes that the project creates a positive impact and that key lessons learned are used to inform future interventions.
Nigeria is made up of several ethnic groups, majority of which are the Igbo, Hausa, and the Yoruba. Within these ethnic groups are several tribes numbering 371. However, the multi-tribal nature of Nigeria may put someone at a loss, especially when such tribes begin to display their unique culture, dialect, among others. Salis Lawan attended the maiden edition of Yangdanwaka Cultural Day in Mayobelwa local government area of Adamawa State, and now files in this report.
The Yangdanwaka people are believed to have originated from Egypt alongside their Mumwe counterpart. They first settled in Yaro, a community in Mayabelwa, then migrated to the current geographical location in the state, as well as Taraba. The Young Danwaka people group is a small tribe living in hilly areas. They are a peaceful farming community. They are involved in animals husbandry and rich in culture. Archery competition by Hunters Group into 2 marks the opening of the event. The target ring was rolled on the ground for the archers to swiftly hit it. There was a colorful display of traditional outfits by women carrying Waka artifacts, dancing and singing majestically. Another troupe of Waka traditional dancers thrilled the event. People from bordering communities converged to witness the Young Danwaka Cultural Day. The aim of the occasion is to indoctrinate younger ones into the core traditions of the Wakas, promote harmony among different clans, and to preserve the beliefs of their ancestors. From Yola, Silas Lowen, Trust TV News.
Now, building a house, especially with the current economic reality, is a daunting task, not only for the low-income earners, but also for the rich. However, Nazifi Yahaya, a carpenter and a resident of Jos, tells Trust TV how painting cars got him the house that he currently lives in. Ado Musa tells us more in this report.
40-year-old Nazifi Yahaya is a carpenter at a motor garage located opposite the University of Jos permanent site in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. The carpenter, who has been in the automotive painting service for more than a decade, says he was able to build a small house that shelters him and his family. I was informed one day that the owner of this land wanted to sell it, so I indicated interest. The landowner pegged the price at 150,000 naira, and I was able to raise the money after some months. After that, I started saving money for the blocks and cement with a block industry until the money was reasonable to start the building. I didn't build this house just overnight because I wasn't buoyant enough to do so. It wasn't an easy journey because getting the money is not always easy, especially now that the economy of the country is in bad shape. The location and stage of completion of the building speaks volume of how far the painter has come in the quest to put a roof over his head.
Now, moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the 118-kilometer Awe-Obi-Kena Tunga Road executed by the former President Goodluck Jonathan administration in Nasarawa State. The President Buhari, while inaugurating the road project on Thursday in Lafia, said that the event is a testament to his administration's commitment to improve road transport infrastructure, ease of doing business, create jobs and prosperity to lift people out of poverty. Buhari, who was represented by the Director, Raw Materials and Research, Federal Ministry of Works, Zakari Eladoga, said that the 118 kilometers road, which links the 3 local government areas of Obi, Ikena and Away areas of the state, is important as connects agrarian and trading communities and eases the movement of their farm produce.
The 118-kilometer linking 3 local government areas of Obi, Kiana, away to the Nasarawa state capital. A very important road that connects agrarian trading community to ease the movement of their farm products. By linking this community together, this road becomes a critical component of national road network. The road has been built to the highest quality of design and workshop, and if it is well used and not abused, it shall last for the design service life.
I must first of all thank the Lord Almighty for making us to see this day, and for making it possible for us to be here. And for all those who came from far and wide, we must thank God for the journey mercies He granted them to be here. We must also thank our President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Muhammadu Buhari, CFR, for all he has been doing in Nigeria.
The Economic Community of West African States on Thursday launched the Human Capital Development Strategy in Abuja. The event, which was held with the aim of increasing investment among Nigerian citizens and also boost human capital development within the nation, had in attendance the World Bank, the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, and the British High Council, among others. The report.
Nigeria has a population of over 200 million citizens, making it the most populous in the sub-Saharan region. With a youth population of over 60%, an investment in human capital has the potential of turning around the fortunes of the country. However, issues of insecurity, gender parity, lack of investment in critical sectors, and millions of out-of-school children have continued to hamper its growth.
Capital, which basically means investing in people, in the children, young youth, women and girls of Nigeria and of the region, the West Africa region. The World Bank, and not just here in Nigeria, but across the region, is incredibly committed to this agenda. The states are on the front lines, states and local governments are on the front lines of this, and it's really about how does the federal and the state work together. At the federal level and at the state level, there's also the issue of how do you mobilize the revenues. At the end of the day, it will take public resources to invest in human capital.
Also at the event was the Vice President of Nigeria, Yemi Osibajo, who spoke on the importance of human capital development in Nigeria.
The most important pieces of work that we can do are on planning and investing in human capital development, healthcare, nutrition, quality education, skills and jobs. Our most important targets and objectives, nationally and regionally, must be on the improvement of the quality of lives, living standards and livelihoods of our people, the happiness, security and general welfare of our populations. Clearly, nothing else is as important. Now we have our strategy documents, but we are in a race against time. We are locked in a mortal battle with difficult local and global macroeconomic and fiscal circumstances, even as states, regions face deadly civil conflicts and terrorism.
The launch of the ECOWAS development strategy is seen as a catalyst to initiatives geared towards improving the standard of living among member nations. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Let's now take a look at business updates as put together by Chamun Dabeng.
The importation and supply of petroleum products into the nation is currently monopolized by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPC. However, oil marketers claimed that the current state of the market was making things worse for the nation. In a meeting with journalists on Thursday, marketers working under the aegis of the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, argued that in addition to temporary solutions to the fuel shortage, other marketers should also be allowed to compete fairly when importing goods. The association Association's chairman Olumide Adeosun claims that the present gasoline shortage was brought on by inadequate supply in recent weeks, as well as distribution issues brought on by the lack of supply and ongoing increase in the price of automotive gas oil internationally. The National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) reports that in 2021, income from passengers, cargo and other services were 6.08 billion naira for the Nigerian Railway Corporation (NRC), billion naira. In contrast to 1.7 billion naira in 2020, NRC generated 5.7 billion naira from passengers in 2021. According to the report, in contrast to 1.7 billion naira in 2020, NRC generated 5.7 billion naira from passengers in 2021. While income from other receipts increased to 66.8 million naira in 2021 from 5.19 million naira the year before, goods and cargo in 2021 generated 317.57 million naira compared to 281.35 million naira in 2021. Additionally, it was discovered that 2.71 million passengers used the train system in 2021 compared to 1.02 million in 2020, a rise of 166%. Additionally, 168,301 tons of cargo were moved in total in 2021 as compared to 87,440 tons in 2020, a growth rate of 92.48%. The Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, Engineer Simbi Wabote, has disclosed that the board is getting ready to start dispersing the $40 million Women in Energy Fund. According to Wabote, who spoke at the Nigerian Women in Oil and Gas Conference in Lagos, 3 of the 15 applications submitted have been granted. A minimum percentage of females must be present in every human capacity development program or initiative that Wabote will authorize for the Nigerian oil and gas sector. The managing director of Nexim Bank, Mr. Abba Bello, provided an update on the administration of the Women in Energy money and clarified that in order to access the fund, applicants must fulfill certain requirements. That's all for business news. I am Chamun Dabeng.
We'll now take a quick break. The news continues shortly.
The rains are here again. Floods are ravaging. Why? As residents of FCT, we have made some wrong choices. Dumping refuse in water channels, building on waterways, damaging water lines. The consequences of flooding can be devastating. Lives are lost. Properties are damaged. People are displaced. Farmlands are destroyed. Don't make the wrong choices. Don't build on floodplains. Don't dump refuse in waterways. Don't damage water lines. Clear all refuse in waterways around your premises. Together, we can safeguard lives and property. Do the right thing now. For emergencies, please call 112 or 122. This message is from the FCT Emergency Management Agency, FEMA.
Welcome back. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Now, away from Nigeria, the European Parliament has approved EU candidacy status for Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia. In a convincing vote on Thursday, European Parliament President Roberto Metsola said that the vote had been unequivocal and that the European Council should grant candidate status today to the two countries, adding that the move will show leadership, resolve and vision in context of Russia's war against Ukraine. A total of 529 votes were made in support of the resolution to defer the status on the three countries, while 45 votes were made against the proposal. 14 politicians abstained. Afghanistan's supreme leader has pleaded with the international community for help as authorities are struggling to reach remote areas hit by the 5.9 magnitude quake that killed over 1,000 people and injured hundreds. Rescue efforts are hampered by poor communications and lack of proper roads. So far, 600 people have been rescued from various affected areas. The magnitude 5.9 earthquake struck early on Wednesday, about 160 kilometers southeast of Kabul in arid mountains, dotted with small settlements near the border with Pakistan. It struck areas that were already suffering the effects of heavy rain, causing rock falls and mudslides that hampered rescue efforts. And in sports news, Serena Williams' return to tennis action has been cut short after doubles partner Ons Jabeur withdrew from the Eastbourne tournament because of a knee injury. The WTA event had seen tennis great Williams play her first 2 competitive matches since she limped out of last year's Wimbledon in tears with a hamstring problem. Williams will now focus on Wimbledon, where she has accepted a wild card into the women's singles in a bid to win a record equaling 24th Grand Slam title. Adeni Ajishafe has more on sports updates.
The Ministry of Youth and Sport Development says Team Nigeria will begin campaign on July 9 ahead of Commonwealth Games slated for Birmingham, England. Nigeria will begin its national trials in Benin City on Friday to select athletes for the Commonwealth Games and 2022 World Athletics Championship built to hold in Oregon, United States. Athletes for the Commonwealth Games will be camped in Lagos, Abuja, and Yenagoa. Team Nigeria athletes will be competing in athletics, boxing, judo, para-athletics, para-powerlifting, para-table tennis, weightlifting, and wrestling, beginning from July 9, 2022 to the commencement of the game. In basketball, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the immediate return of Nigeria to international basketball competitions after an approval was granted following a letter of appeal from Nigerian Basketball Federation (NBBF). The return follows the recent withdrawal of Nigeria from international competitions in basketball by federal government due to crisis rocking the Nigerian Basketball Federation. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, Ismail Abubakar, says a letter of appeal from the NBBF board, signed by Musa Kida and addressed to the Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dari, apologized to the President and the Minister over the embarrassment the development around basketball and the conduct of some stakeholders has brought upon Nigeria. The letter appealed to the Minister to use his office to approach President Buhari for the reversal of the 2-year withdrawal of Nigeria from international basketball competitions. The appeal, among other things, undertook to immediately set in the motion the process of constitutional amendment from stakeholders as collated by the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, set up a team to reconcile all contending parties in the basketball family, at home and abroad, and secure commitment to work with the ministry in the governance and development of basketball, among other things. The chances of the Tigers participating at the FIBA World Cup later this year will be known in coming days. FIBA had informed Mali, ranked second in qualifying series, to replace Nigeria following her withdrawal from international competition. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
And with that, we wrap up the news hour. You can watch more by connecting with us via all social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.